Hey, hey, I am back. And if you see the caption, is your job giving you the blues? If it is, you are in the right place at the right time, and I got something for you. If you are here with me live, do me a favor and say, hey, D, in the comments so that I know you are here. If you happen to catch the replay, do me a favor and just type replay in the comments, and I'll come back through and show you some love. If for some reason this is your first time coming across my videos, my content, my page, welcome to my space. I am Danielle the coach. I'm a certified life and leadership coach. I am notorious for helping entrepreneurs, particularly millennial entrepreneurs that are still juggling a 9 to 5, to create their corporate exit strategy so that they can quit with confidence and unapologetically. So, like I said when I started, and if you may have caught the caption right, if your job is giving you the blues, as I'm continuing to hear that many of them are still doing that to my people, um, running you ragged, just stressing you out, having you question your sanity, having you rethink life, having you question how in the world did I get here, just really having you sit on your behind and rethink life as a whole because you are so miserable with what it takes, what you have to do, right? What you're obligated to do in order to make a living. And so, if that is you, I want you to know that there is hope. And in that, I'm going to share 4 ways to help you overcome what I call your mid career crisis. And that's being in a space where you have reached a point in your career where you have time in the game. You upwards of 2 decades. I say between 12 and 20 years ish. Um, you got time in the game. You know the ropes. You've seen some things. You've experienced even more things. You know what you're doing. You've amassed and developed this expertise, and you have a clue about what you're doing. You just no longer are. You no longer love it. You're no longer in love with what it takes to do it, and it's causing you to feel unfulfilled. And the more that you have to go through these motions of showing up in places and spaces that frankly are no longer serving you, it's weighing on you in ways that you never even imagined. And it's beginning to seep into your personal life. It's beginning to affect and impact your mental health. It's beginning to impact your physical health. Just things seem to be breaking down and combusting at record time, like one thing after the other. And when you really think about it, it's because it's stemming from this one thing, this one space. You are not yourself, and you haven't been in a while. If I am on your pew, do me a favor and let me know in the comments whether you're watching with me live or on the replay. And if you're here live, do me a favor and say, hey, D, so I can show you some love too. So, that being said, I got 4 ways to help you overcome your mid career crisis. And now you know what I mean when I say mid career crisis and why I frame it that way. It's like you just ran into this brick wall. You woke up one day and recognized that, wait a minute, what is happening? Like I'm not really feeling this anymore. I'm not really loving it anymore. Actually, I don't love it at all. And how do I exit stage left? And there ensues the snowball effect, because when you think about leaving what it is that you've known for so long, what you worked so hard towards experiencing, towards amassing. Oh, and let's not even talk about the salary. Let's not talk about the money, because you're making good money. You're making good money. You've afforded yourself a lifestyle that feels a little bit hard to walk away from. And I get it. I get it. I left 2 6-figure jobs in my time, in my short time. And contrary to popular belief, I'm still a PYT. Okay. I'm young. Um, I'll leave that at that. So, and I did this several years ago, having left 2 6-figure careers. So I understand what it's like to create this life for yourself and afford yourself a lifestyle, and then to even consider walking away from it and letting that go, that comfort and that security, it has you looking at yourself crazy. Better yet, other people looking at you quite crazy that you might share what you are thinking about even doing, right? So there's a lot of things that play into it. And just walking away, just quitting, it's a lot easier said than done. I don't care what anybody says because I've done it. I've done it twice. Okay. Got my t-shirts and a couple of other pieces of swag to go with it. So I understand what goes into it. I understand that thought process. I understand the mindset. I understand the internal dialogue. I understand the reactions that you get from other people that you are courageous enough to share with. I understand it all, right? And so it can paralyze you, um, and have you doing nothing because you are consumed with all of the things that come with or might come with this decision that it is that you're making about shifting what it is that you do for a living, how you make a living, where you show up to make a living, and when you show up to make a living, right? There's a lot that goes into it. And if you're not careful, it'll have you showing up in the same space, doing the same things that are no longer serving you, that have you feeling unfulfilled and jaded and frustrated, overwhelmed in some instances, underwhelmed in some instances, um, aggravated, agitated, you name it. And if I missed any, do me a favor and drop those sentiments and those feelings in the comments for me too. I'm for real. Like if I missed a feeling or a sentiment, drop it in the comments for me, because I want to make sure I cover them all. But if you get what I'm saying, if you get where I'm going, right? You know. If you know, you know. This is one of those. If you know, you know. And you may you could be on the front end of it, kind of feeling some symptoms of what I'm saying. You may not be in the space where it's becoming painful to get up in the morning and go do what it is that you got to do to make a living. You could be in that space where you're using sick leave because you're really sick, the job is making you sick. This is when like you're in the thick of it, like your eyeballs deep in that thing. So there's levels to it. And so my prayer is that I'm able to reach those who are in the thick of it, that are eyeballs deep in this thing, and then also to just plant the seeds for those who may be on the beginning end of it, where it's starting to get a little bit uncomfortable. You're starting to look at your situation and people differently and ask questions about what what is going on here? How did I get here? Ignorance is no longer bliss for you, because again, you guys get in the game. You have been doing this, whatever this is for you, whatever your industry, whatever your career, whatever your job is, you've been doing it. And so you are now an expert, and you know the ropes. So there was a season where ignorance was bliss, right? And you just had bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. This isn't that season for you. You know better. And there's some things that you can control and there's some things that you can't. And so I am here to support you and help you lean into the things that you can control and let go of the things that you can't. One of my favorite prayer poems is the Serenity Prayer. God, help me to accept the things I cannot change and change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Is That's a game changer. It's an absolute game changer. So I say that to say, here are some things that you can change, right? And these are 4 ways to overcome your mid-career crisis. The first one is to consider switching jobs. And okay, you're probably like, okay, well, you know, that's not really rocket science, right? Right, it's not. But you would be surprised how many people know that that's a possibility, but still won't do it anyway. And there's a number of reasons why they won't do it, because you can't just raise your hand and go get another job most of the time. That takes work. It takes energy. It takes effort. It takes some strategy, right? Even if you're just changing jobs, it may require updating your resume, right? It may require you to be interviewed. And some people feel like they don't have time for that. Some people have no interest in doing any of that. None of it. And so, yeah, it's easy to say, okay, I know I can switch jobs, but okay. Have you leaned into it? Have you taken those steps or no? Right? So I'll keep going because I got some more, but that's like low hanging fruit. Consider switching jobs, right? Um, you could be doing the same thing and just changing your environment, right? You're just doing the same thing in a different place. That may help you, right? The second thing that you can consider that I recommend considering is switching industries, right? If you're in a space where you're like jaded, you're like unfulfilled, you're no longer passionate about what you're doing, that could be an indicator that it's time for you to take your talents and your passions and your purpose elsewhere, and it could be in another industry. And that could be even more alarming because there's a couple of things that may come up. Or am I qualified? Do I have to start all over from scratch? Where do I even start? Where are my skills transferable? What industries is there some overlap? Like, okay, I get it, right? But it's a way out. It opens up possibility and provides you with an option. The third thing that you can consider is full-time entrepreneurship. Bundling and packaging up your know-how, right? And it could be what you do now for a living, packaging that up and selling it as a service or goods to other people, and specifically to other entrepreneurs. Because if you provide a skill set right now, you possess a skill set and you provide support in some business or organizations operations, most times what you do is transferable in the small business realm. There's entrepreneurs and small business owners out here that need you and don't know that they need you, right? And there could be a lane that either is already that's already been created or that is waiting for you to create, for you to reposition yourself and take your skills from the corporate industry, maybe government, the government sector, into a space of your own and positioning yourself to have that time and financial freedom that you've been daydreaming about. Last but not least, what you can consider is hiring a life coach. The first three things that I shared that you can consider, switching jobs, switching industries, or transferring your skills from employee to self-employed, and positioning yourself to either be a service provider consultant, or maybe even a coach to other people based on your specialized industry niche or know-how. Those are what you can, that can be a lot. It can be a lot to unpack. It can be a lot to repack in a different way and put a bow on it and make it attractive. And there's a whole piece of the puzzle that goes into that too, which I know firsthand because it is exactly how and why I am before you in the capacity that I am now as a coach. I figured out how to do that, right? And so, why I say the fourth thing is important is consider hiring a life coach, because I know that you're exhausted. I know that you're mentally and physically, probably spiritually and emotionally exhausted. It takes so much for you to get up and go do what it is that you do every single day, Monday through Friday. If you work the Monday through Friday schedule or whatever your work schedule might be, it takes a lot for you to walk through the door of the organization. If you go back to a building now, or even just get to your computer and turn it on and have to face the music and deal with the people that are necessary for you to deal with in your day to day. It's a lot. And then on top of that, to think about, okay, now you got to put your thinking cap on and get creative and figure out, okay, what's your exit strategy? I'm here to tell you, you don't have to figure it out by yourself. You can. I did. However, not only did I do it for myself, I have the experience in doing it for myself, but I'm also an expert in helping other people do it. I have an eye for it. I have a gift for it. I have a knack for it. And I am willing to meet you halfway if you are courageous enough to raise your hand and ask for the help, support, and accountability that you need. And not only did I do it for myself, I did a bunch of the work myself, right, to figure out what was next for me. And then I also hired a life coach to hold me accountable to doing what I said I wanted to do. And I hired somebody to help me because what I was doing was unprecedented. What I was doing was unpopular. What I was doing was deemed crazy by some people. And so I learned early to keep it to myself. right? And only share it in spaces and places where I would be supported in a non-judgmental capacity, but yet held accountable to doing and accomplishing what it is that I said I wanted to do and accomplish. And that's exactly what my life coach supported me in doing. So I'm not telling you to do something that I haven't done myself. I'm telling you, giving you free game on how to free yourself, right? But also positioning this where you have options on how you can pivot out of where you are, right? Package up your skills, your expertise, your know-how, and leverage it in a way that still allows you to either monetize independently or still make money, still make a living doing what it is that you know how to do, or maybe taking the best parts that you love about what you do and using them in a different space or a different industry. So I say all that to say you got options. And if the wheels are spinning for you, let me know in the comments. Let me know if the wheels are spinning for you. And that's my whole goal for this particular video, is to unlock possibility for you, because I know if this is you, right? If you are that person that I've been describing since I hit go live, right? You are so close to your situation that you can't even see clearly all of the moving pieces that are at play. And that's no fault of your own. That's just the way this thing goes. It happens to me too, which is why I have coaches. I have accountability partners, right? Spaces that I can go and be open, honest, vulnerable, and transparent, and have that mirrored reflection and conversation to give back to me what it is that I'm sharing in a scatterbrain kind of way. It happens to me too. I I subscribe to the things that I prescribe. So I say all that to say, if something I said in this resonated with you, do me a favor and let me know in the comments. Your feedback is what fuels me to keep coming and giving these videos. And I get feedback from time to time in the most random ways, but I know to me they are kisses from God, because I don't expect them when they come, and they are the absolute charge to my battery to let me know, like, yep, turn that video on and tell my people what they need to know. So if this resonated with you, let me know. And if something specifically resonated with you, let me know. If you know somebody that's been complaining about their job, right? They're a go-getter, they're a high achiever, like they got it going on, but they are like on the struggle bus right now because their job is giving them the blues. Do both of us a favor. Us, them, well, all three of us, me and them, and you, so they can stop complaining to you about it. Share this video with them wherever you see it. This is being broadcast in about 4 different places. So wherever you see it, doesn't matter. Share this with them. Um, and what I want to invite you, whoever you may be, to is to book a free strategy session with me. It's free, right? Let's talk it out. I want to know what's going on, where you are, what possibility you are open to, right? And what you're willing to do to get yourself out of this situation that you have found yourself in. And I want you to know, like, there is no judgment in how you got here. It happens to the best of us. It's happened to me a couple of times, right? And guess what? I am not staying in spaces that are no longer serving me, because I understand that I am on this earth on purpose. And I understand that when things began to get uncomfortable in spaces that I was once comfortable and complacent in, it's because there's a bigger assignment and calling over my life. There's something new that I'm supposed to do. And there's work that I need to do to figure out what it is so that I can align with that and go be great and make an impact and serve the people that I am divinely called to and that are divinely assigned to me. So all of this is bigger than what lies on the surface, if you will. Um, and if that resonated with you, we absolutely positively should talk. There is a link in the caption of the video. And if you are watching this on Facebook, I'll go in and put the link in the comments too for you as well. But click that link and book a free strategy session. And I want to let you know now that in your strategy session, I'll be wanting to learn more about what you have going on and helping you figure out what you can do immediately to begin to free yourself from this space and overcoming your mid-career crisis. If I feel that I have something that can support you on your journey and it seems like, we vibe and it's a good fit, then I may invite you to work with me for a fee, right? But I may invite you to work with me because why not? Right? If I'm confident that it's a vibe and I got what you need, I may invite you to work with me. So, and I want you to know that straight up. Because you got work to do, you got places to go, you have people to impact, and the clock is ticking. Like time is ticking, time is moving. And the quicker you make a decision that something's got to change, the quicker that things will change. And I want you to know that what's waiting for you on the other side of that decision is opportunity. So when opportunity knocks, when a life coach shows up on your screen, when you are on the other side of a Zoom call having a strategy session and you're invited to work with me, what are you going to say? What are you going to do? Are you going to shy away from it? Or are you going to lean into what's possible and be unapologetic about your breakthrough and enlist the right non-judgmental support and accountability that you've been needing? Maybe you didn't even know you needed it. Maybe you did know you needed it. Whatever the case may be, what are you going to do? Right? Are you going to shy away from it and decide to figure it out, yourself? You may, right? But I want to challenge you to lean into doing something a little bit differently. And asking for help could be a stretch for you. And guess what? That's okay too, right? That's absolutely okay too. The best of them have life coaches. That's the secret that most people don't know, right? The people that we see, their names and lights and on Super Soul Sunday and all this stuff, they have life coaches. It's a life hack, and it's a vibe, and it's an absolute flex, and it's a necessity for those who are called to greatness and are juggling lots of things. It's a necessity. So I'll leave that at that. If I have been on your pew, let me know. If I have spoken to your soul, let me know. If you feel somebody dropped in your spirit where you were watching, share this with them. And if you know that you know that you know that we need to have a conversation, I won't know because you see me, I can't see you, but I know you're there, right? Whether live or the replay, you know that we need to talk. Click that link in the caption of this video and book your strategy session, and let's talk it out, and let's see what possibility looks like for you on a whole nother scale, on a whole nother level, right? Your wildest dreams can absolutely come true, and I am willing to advocate for you and hold space for you to do just that. All right, I'm out. I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget, if you're watching the replay, to put replay in the comments, and I'll come back through and show you some love. I'll see you next time.